Some more random news on the horizon. It seems like Ubisoft has leaked the possible release of Watch Dogs 3 set in London. I personally haven't played the first two, but I've heard some great things about 2 in particular, and it's now got my attention just a little bit, more so than GTA would, especially after the Rockstar debacle. In other news, we have now heard that Cuphead will be available in Tesla cars. Hey mom, can you please slow down? I'm trying to beat the damn robot. Yeah, that's a great one. On a slight side note, and to take a tiny little break from news droppings here, there's been a small bit of speculation online about how the new consoles will be able to respond to players themselves. Now, we all know that game companies are taking data based off of our game times and the trophies that we earn in order to decide, hey, is this game popular? Hey, are people completing this game? And not only that, but through surveys and other methods, basically trying to determine how our tastes are being reflected in products that are being released. Recent rumblings across the internet today have been suggesting that perhaps the next generation of consoles might be taking this one step further. For example, how would you feel if your PlayStation 5 or if your next box actually digitally examined you as a player? The amount of time that you put into things, the amount of achievements that you got on your own, whether you chose to explore more, pick up items more, grind more, or just blast through a campaign quicker. Using this data sent back to developers, maybe with or without our consent, in order to try and make games more relevant towards the average player, or maybe even towards niche players, depending on what the goal of the developer is. So, a question I have for our 32-bit land team is, what do you guys think about that? Do you feel like your console could be a spy? Or does it give you a little bit of a reassuring feeling, thinking, wow, my console actually cares? As for me, I'd preferably allow my console to take as much data as possible, well, as long as they're not including screenshots.
All right, that is very intriguing. Console AI is an absolutely intriguing technology. If we reflect back on what AI stands as of today, your phones can talk to you and your phones can fix your appointments and stuff. And if your console could do that, I think the way it should be applied in any level should be suggest more games to gamers. So learn the style of the gamer. So I know for a fact that you, Ryan, are definitely into grinding and finishing each game because you're like our Pokemon master. You've actually got them all. So I feel that it would pick up data from you and then suggest the games that you would want to play. If that would be the case, I'm on board completely. Booyah, yes. But I'm not too sure. I mean, what is privacy today, you know? You share your location, it tells you something that a local gamer is making? I don't know. It's sounds a bit dicey in terms of privacy, but yeah, data collected to make a better experience for gamers today, that I think is gonna like kick ass. Anyways, I think I'm gonna throw it back to you guys out there, 32-bit landers. Privacy, is that an issue with consoles? I don't think so, but if it is your issue, leave us a comment down below. What else is there today, Ryan?
How many of you out there are looking forward to playing Shenmue 3 when it comes out late August? I am, or shall I say was. According to recent news on IGN, Shenmue 3 has been delayed yet again, this time till mid-late November. Apparently, the creator, Yu Suzuki, wanted to make a few more polishes and make the game look a little bit more beautiful before finally releasing it to the public. I'm pretty sure we'd all, after, 20 years? Well, not quite 20 years, but I'm pretty sure we'd all rather wait for the game to show its full potential rather than jumping to the, I'm playing it a few days late syndrome. Anyway, I'm still looking forward to Shenmue 3. I hope it comes out before I turn 40, which is in 5 years.
Hey GTO, have you heard about this? Apple had their WWDC, which they do every year, and they do like a new iOS and a new Mac OS and stuff like that. So essentially their E3-ish, whatever. Yeah, so Apple goes and decides to drop Apple Arcade. Why is this significant? Apple Arcade is coming with over 1,100 exclusive games. We covered that earlier in the news at some point. But here's what the fun and interesting part is. Apple's trying to break into the gaming market by using their already existing hardware, because what they've done is they've given access to PlayStation and Xbox controllers to connect through all their devices. Like, you can connect now through a Mac, you can connect now through your iPhone, and you can connect now through your TV. They're coming out with a 4K model for the TV. So now, essentially, apart from the 1,100 games that you can buy, which are going to be exclusives, there are some games in the iOS store which are mobile games like Arena of Valor, PUBG. These games are free on the iStore. So now people don't need to go get a console. I don't know. What do you think? Has it killed a certain amount of console buyers? Because some of these people are just casual gamers. They play on their mobile phone while they're moving around, and with the technology out there with straps and you can just carry your PlayStation 4 controller and your iOS device and just game all day. Quite significant, I'd say, in my opinion. Anyways, what do you guys think out there? Leave a comment down below and let us know what's up with that. Are you happy Apple's giving you so much with basically no subscription fee? All you need to do is get their device. Relatively more expensive, but I think quality-wise, gaming quality-wise, it's up there. It's compatible to the Sonys and the Xboxes and the Switches and everything. So yeah, let us know what you think.
One of the biggest things today that just blows my mind is just how much I'm reading about Bethesda. They're all over the net. One of the first things that's been making its rounds over the last couple days is that Fallout Shelter 2 is a thing. Even includes battle modes and online features of all sorts that everybody would have loved to see in the original Fallout Shelter. Apparently, though, this is exclusive to China. So, yay for us people who live out here, if you speak Chinese, because I'm reporting from China. We all are, except for Monks, our awesome guy over there in India. But what do you guys think about this? I mean, I can't speak Chinese. Anyway, in other news regarding that, there's no news about it being localized anytime soon, and I imagine if it does, we won't hear about it until the last moment. Further news from Bethesda is that they've decided to go and make a bunch of comments about a bunch of random things that don't really matter. Such as, hey guys, we knew Fallout 76 was a hawk load of poop before we released it. We expected fan outcry. I mean, it's like after you get a pass go card and you get out of a sticky situation, you gotta come out and just be like, hey, we got lucky and we know it. I mean, come on, guys. As a good host I used to like to watch, AVGN, once said, what were they thinking? It's like telling everybody, we knew we were releasing an unfinished product. Well, that's great. In more Fallout Shelter news, it seems as though Bethesda is now suing Warner. Why? Because of a Westworld-themed video game that contains the same coding of bugs that were found in Fallout Shelter. So, right after coming out to the public and saying, hey, we knew Fallout 76 was going to suck, not including the whole duffel bag incident where they couldn't even be bothered to give people enough online currency to buy what should have originally been in their collector's editions, they've decided to come out and say, hey, we want to sue you for making the same crap that we made, because that's our poop. You're not allowed to have the same amount of undigested corn in your poop. How dare you copy our crap? I mean, what do you guys think? Have you ever seen somebody sue somebody else for having similar bugs? Well, anyway, at least there's some positive news about Bethesda. They seem to have an opinion that everybody who's going to be showing up at E3 has got a lot to show, and they seem to think that us spectators are going to be surprised at how ready all companies are right out the door. And that's always good to hear. And finally, it seems as though we may actually get a Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 release date sometime before Bethesda becomes BioWare. GTO here. After the recent success of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, many people are wondering what the future might be for this genre of Souls-born Kiro, as I like to call it. The fight until you die and lose everything genre of games made famous by Dark Souls, Demon's Souls, Bloodborne, and so on. A bunch of lucky PlayStation owners recently, or shall I say, Neo experts, have gotten invitations to participate in the alpha of Neo 2, which we will hopefully hear about at E3. Now, I've been hearing conflicting reports that the visuals are not that great, certain weapons have been removed, yet at the same point, Team Ninja is consistently reporting that Neo 2, they pulled all the stops and have continued to do things that they were not able to do in Neo 1. So, to anyone out there who has played the Neo 2 Alpha, how do you feel about it? What do you think it could be? Have you seen any improvements? Is there anything that you're disappointed about? Are you looking forward to more Team Ninja-born action? Or would you just rather wait for Sekiro 2 or Dark Souls 4? Just today, after opening my GTO mail, I got a pleasant surprise. Inside, there was a message from Sony saying, "Congratulations for kicking absolute ass in God of War and getting a platinum trophy. Here's a bunch of amazing avatars for you." Apparently, everybody who platinumed this game is going to get these nice little exclusive avatars that they can use. And there's, I believe, 8 to 10 of them. So, if you haven't platinumed God of War yet, you might want to think about it. And furthermore, what do you guys think about having rewards like this for platinuming games? Does it give you a little bit more motivation to go out there and, do another 5 hours of grinding? Or do you think a bunch of avatars is just a little bit of junk? Bruce, you keep calling me the Pokemon expert around here. And it really makes me giddy because I'm really that guy that just decided to start playing Pokemon right before he started turning 30 and just managed to capture everything and complete everything that I missed for 20 years all at once. But hey, what are we going to do? Pokemon's great. And there's some big news for Pokemon lately, as we've discussed in previous episodes. They've announced Pokemon Sleep, they've announced Pokemon Home, a server for all of our Pokemon to live from Pokemon Go and Let's Go and 3DS and DS titles that can all transfer into Sword and Shield. But recently, we've also had a Detective Pikachu movie that already has a commissioned sequel and has done extremely well in the box office, being the #1 selling video game movie of all time in the box office, and pretty well reviewed too. I've seen it. It is great. They managed to get over 200, I believe, different Pokemon animated better than Sonic. Okay, Sega, you can handle one. You can handle one, right? Yeah, but the big Pokemon news here is apparently the company's profit is up by 50%. 50% this year, right now, before any of this has even released. Before Sword and Shield have even come out. I mean, I know there's a lot of information coming out in Sword and Shield. There's the Direct on the 5th, as well as more E3 info coming, but man, can you stop and actually imagine that Pokemon now may actually be bigger than it ever was? That's a great thing for me. And I hope that a lot of other game series that we all love continue to thrive that way. Which brings me to a question for you guys as we head into E3. I know we discussed what we're all excited about, but one thing I wanted to pose to you guys is, do you think that us as gamers in our late 20s and our 30s, do you think that we mostly look forward to things that we just know? or whether the new things get us equally as excited now. Because it seems like most of the things that get me off of my rocker are things that I have been expecting or things that I wanted to see. And it's getting a little bit harder for me to just jump into new projects with the same kind of excitement that I used to, and I have to constantly fight the process of becoming an old, craggy poophead. Okay, I say poop way too much. But anyway, you get the picture. It's just, we've talked about being dated and jaded before. I don't want to be jaded. How about you guys? So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of new titles to look forward to soon, and Pokemon's rocking it. I have just had a look at the brand new June Pokemon Direct for Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, and I must say, it looks freaking awesome. Okay, that might just be my excitement speaking. So I'm going to go and I'm going to list some negatives first. Okay, first of all, we did get a first glimpse at our legendaries. They look very similar. Okay, we basically have Sif from Dark Souls, which is not a bad thing. It's a cool looking doggy-like thing with a sword in his mouth. And we have another very similar looking doggy-like thing with a big shield as its face. But however, this is probably somewhat story related, and there's mention that there could be more than just these legendaries. So let's see how that turns out. We did get to see more Pokemon than we've seen before. Of course, they're keeping a tight lip on evolutions. But one thing they did show that many people have been talking about is there are Pokemon in the wild. In fact, I saw... Okay, I'm out of the negatives, by the way. Actually, I'm not sure there were any negatives. So screw me! There were Pokemon in the wild. There were water cycles. There were literally Pokemon being called to by the main character whistling in the grass and coming towards them. Now, one of the major things I saw in this direct that just blew my mind, that many people really wanted, we're talking about maybe it not being there, was the addition of an open world section called the Wild Area. Now, this is an area where Pokemon appear and they change depending on weather and day, and you can catch them, obviously. But it seems to be a lot of incentive to keep coming back here and having new adventures, because this is where events are going to occur. This is where things are going to change. And this appears to be a huge open area that connects different cities. And they showed various geographical features like deserts. They showed an open grassland. They even showed some mountains, a little bit of snow. So it seems that this is like a Hyrule field on some kind of ginormous drug that basically might even take up half of the map. And it looks really, really cool. Aside from that, in this area, they have huge red beacons you see, and when you go there, you can enter into a raid, a Pokemon freaking raid with other people, other players over the internet, not just locally, where you fight a huge Pokemon that you can capture. These will change. This is where events will occur. Now, the huge Pokemon, this is an aspect that leads into the next major feature they talked about, which is the Dynamax. Dynamax. Okay, this is our replacement for Mega Evolutions and Z moves. Whereas with Mega Evolutions, you could put a Pokemon in that was essentially on crack and have it do whatever you wanted until you took it out of battle. Z moves were just one powerful move with a fancy animation that usually destroyed things in one hit, unless you were playing somebody smart. Now they've kind of gone a happy medium. Your Pokemon turns into Godzilla and has 3 moves. You know, kind of like the genie in Aladdin. 3 moves, 3 wishes. You get 3 shots. This completely changes up the strategies that you can use in battles. Now, gyms are back. Trials are gone. And just like in the animes and in the movies that we've seen, we have large stadiums filled with people, and they were visibly shown doing different animations, cheering you on, wearing different clothes, maybe a color associated with the kind of gym that you're in. You know, it's not like some brilliant AI stuff, but you're going to feel like you're in a place where people are watching and caring, not just like, I'm going to go through 3 doors and fight some dude that's been standing there for 24/7 and doesn't eat or ever go home to see his wife and kids. This is the new way of gyms, guys, and it's looking pretty good. Now, they justified the arenas by saying, hey, well, we need an arena to have a huge Pokemon there because this is how Dynamax is going to work. But ultimately, we've always had these arenas in Pokemon anyway. So the cities are looking great. We got to see glimpses of the castle town today, and it looks huge. It looks really cool. And just from everything they showed, they didn't show too many new Pokemon or evolutions at all, but it's looking to be a fantastic game. Things they've never done before. And in the open area, you will even have free camera angle. Yes, that's right. Free rotating camera angle in a core Pokemon game for the first time ever. And they had some Breath of the Wild stuff going on there, like shaking trees, getting apples down. I can't stress it enough, riding across the water on your bike, which just looks really cool, because it's like better than, hey, I'm just going to call some random Mantine to surf here in the middle of some pond in jolly old England. Yeah, that's not going to work out too well. You need a kick-ass bike with features that are going to let you do some Superman kind of shit. But anyway, guys, what do you think about the Pokemon game? What did you think about what you've seen? What do you think about the legendaries? I guess in one aspect, it makes it a little bit easier to just pick up whichever one you like. One of them is blue, one of them is pink. The legendaries look similar. They're kind of locked in a battle. Maybe it's a historic battle across the ages. But regardless, is going to be some stuff here that fans love, some stuff that they're going to complain about, but ultimately I think most people who like Pokemon, and even people who don't, are going to take a look at this Direct and be happy, because a lot of things we thought they weren't going to add, such as open world, such as Pokemon in the wild, it's there. I've seen it. It is no longer speculation. So, speaking of speculation, start your own. The only other final notes I can think of are, well, Rival, once again, is not a douche. It's another person. Seems like somebody you meet on a train. Some kind of, person who's out to try and make themselves great, just like you. It just seems like, the way the Rivals have been the last few generations. There was a glimpse of the Pokemon champion, who looks pretty badass, to be honest. He's some big dude wearing this big, huge cape. He's like, "Hi, I am the champion." It looks a little bit like a cross between French and British style, but looks like, badass dude all ladies would like, and she's pretty cool. And we finally have a second female professor. Last time that happened was Generation 5, Pokemon Black and White. Her name is Professor Magnolia. What a shocker! Once again, another tree. Yay. So, yeah, those are the only other things I can think of.
Alright, well, thanks again for covering the Pokemon Direct for us, man, and all the other random news that you've provided us with today. This is Brucey Juicy and GDO signing off. If you like our content, please do like, subscribe to the channel. It helps every time. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.